Hi, you guys. I am here today to show you how to log into your LearnZillion account and what changes are going to come for your reading and other curriculum material. So first of all, I'm still going to keep the weekly slides, so it will be September 14th through 18th reading Wonderstruck slide. That's the title. See up here. So you'll find it in your Google Classroom. You'll go through. Make sure you guys read it. I don't just make these so that you can watch it. Every single one I'm going to add this to just so that you can make sure that you remember how to update. But like we figured out last week, if you're on an iPad or a device, the update key doesn't work, okay? Also, if you're not noticing the update symbol, it should be right up here. It's not for this one because it's not a student slide yet. It's still my master slide that the link is connected to, so I can update your slides from home for you. If it has the update symbol, the regeneration symbol, update it. That's what it's there for, okay? But if you're not seeing it, either number one, it hasn't been updated, or number two, if you see something like this, but it's a day that you're supposed to be watching it, say this is Monday's, this is on Monday's slide, you're supposed to be watching it, and it doesn't have the update key, I want you to close it, exit out, and try it again. Because what we found last Thursday in class was that if you have low connectivity for the internet or your internet does a weird thing, I know last week mine was going in and out one of the days, that's whenever you won't see it, but it should be updated for that day, okay? All right, so it's the normal slides. I'm still going to do the weekly ones, but if it gets too difficult to do, I'll just do a daily one for each of the subjects. Make sure that you understand in your Google Classroom. I played around with this last week. I think I'm going to do it again. I'm going to post what your agenda is for the day, even though you should know by looking at the agenda on the slide. That's okay. I think I might do that again. I want you to always go to classwork. Watch. All of my classwork, in case you haven't noticed, is divided by subjects. You will have a slideshow or an assignment every day, unless I tell you differently, in phonics and spelling, reading, argument writing. Social studies will always be the long due date that you can do at the very end. Your due date for social studies is the 20th. Or a cold read quiz, but this is linked to your slide if I have you do a cold read quiz, okay? So you will have not homework, you will have classwork in every single subject. I'm going to change this to phonics, comma, spelling, comma, and grammar, because that's what we're going to be using the entire slide for, okay? So you will have an assignment every single day in phonics, reading Wonderstruck, and argument writing. And it's much, much, much easier to find the information underneath classwork, under the topics, instead of just scrolling down your stream for 15 minutes, okay? All right, so you'll click on your slides for this week. You'll have the same standard format, except I'm going to take the agenda off of here because I'm doing a weekly agenda right there. All right, then you will come here. All right, the video I'm filming now is going to go here. You won't have to update it. I'll do it before. But I'm going to show you how to log into your website that is for the rest of the novel and for the rest of all of the novels, okay? It's called LearnZillion. So once you watch the video I'm filming now, that will be right here, you're going to click onto this button to access LearnZillion. I have updated and set all of your accounts. We're going to use Merrick, You're the Lucky Man, today for us to use as an example, but you'll click on students instead of teachers, and every one of your logins is your first name dot last name. No capital letters, no spaces. Every single one of your passwords is going to be, and I will put this on your instructions, capital GOULART 5, Goulart 5, no spaces. Once you click it and type in your info, press the check mark to stay signed in so that whenever I link this into all of our slideshows, you won't have to log in again. So the day I want you to do the assignment, I will put on your slideshow. Let me make this one right now, just to show you as an example. I'll put a text box. Click to access your LearnZillion lesson for the day. You're getting a little real-time action right here showing you how this works. And it will be linked like it has been, and you'll have it, it'll be underlined, and once you click it, it will drop down box to the link, or if it's in presentation mode, it will click and go directly there, okay? All right, so log in. No, I'm not doing that. Student account, log in. It will ask you if you want to use your Google account. In this circumstance, don't. And then it will have this assignment bar or assignment page. It says active and archived. Once we finish and I grade your lesson 7, for example, once I grade what you're supposed to do in this lesson, I will archive it. That means it's done, because what this slide does is it does the teaching of the assignment for that day for you. This is because I am back in the classroom now, and being able to pace the same as my regular class is going to be impossible. Yes, you're going to be doing the exact same stuff they're doing because I use these slides for them in class. But for example, this Monday and tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to have to be testing, iReady testing all of my classes. They're not doing these assignments those 2 days because they're testing. You're lucky enough to not have to be here to do that testing during those 2 days. But I'm not going to have you just sit around and not do it like I had you do one of the days yet last week. I'm going to have you do this, and you'll be ahead of us while they're testing, and then we'll catch up with you later. And I'm not going to be able to film videos on those days because I'll be testing and I won't be able to film the information during class, okay? So I just want you to understand that. This is the same stuff that we're doing in class, except it is going to be paced with yourself. You're going to have to be reading it and going through the information, all right? It tells you the status when it was opened. It tells you the creator, which has nothing to do with it, just the person that made it. But the LZ code here, you don't have to worry about either, except if you don't have access to login. It's just for me to be able to give, for example, a substitute if they need to present it that day. That's the code that I can give them, and they can access it without having an account. You will click on the lesson for that day, and it's going to take you to this type or style of page. I want you to press the double arrows, and it makes it bigger, all right? You're going to read through this. You're going to have to do it. It always tells you what we've been reading and what we've been doing. It tells you what we're doing today, comparing and contrasting Ben and the Girl, and analyzing how the author develops theme in part 1. Here's the huge change. Stop and read this. Listen and watch me very carefully right now, because I know if you don't, I'm going to get an email that I won't be able to immediately answer while I'm in class about, I don't have these. You're not going to have the handouts. It tells you what you need on this slide. Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick, your understanding theme handout, your convention stem handout, the comparing and contrasting characters handout, and a highlighter. You will not need, let me see if I can fare my luck with these. You will not need the actual handouts for this, okay? If I want you to do one of these assignments or all of them, I am going to put them in the slideshow or the handout virtually that I give you for that day that is underneath this link. Let me show you very quickly on your example slides. This will be what you click first. You will click to access for LearnZillion. Anything that I want you to do that was on that slide is below. For example, this is the comparing and contrasting information that I want you to do. Last Friday, you completed a chart about the characterizations of the two characters, Ben and Rose, the settings of Ben and Rose, and the events of what we've read so far in part 1. That was on that slide, okay? But it was, or not that slide, that was on the slideshow. That was the comparing and contrasting characters handout. Instead of doing it in a handout, I put it on the slide for you. That's exactly what I'm always going to do. Same goes for this. This is the analyzing characters and events to understand theme that was referenced in the LearnZillion slide. It is here. If I need you to do something, it's here. Here's what I need you to do with these. I ran into this issue with my students that were in my class watching my videos with the teacher last week, and they didn't pay attention to it. Whenever I have something that's done for you, like this page, read it. That is the you do or I do section as the teacher. I got to go through it with you last week. Whenever you're working on these slides, you won't have me to do it. You have to read through, but it gives you an example of what's going on. Is it a lot of reading? Sure, but you can't be lazy with it. You got to read it, all right? Then if I give you something below that has a type here text box, you type there, obviously, all right? If you need assistance on what to do, use this as an example, okay? If I don't give you any slide like this and I just have you do it like this, it means we've done it before. Also, have you noticed anything below the slides? Let me make mine smaller a little bit. Right below, I'm going to go all the way down here. Have you noticed the speaker's notes? Sometimes I'll add a speaker note in there. If I add one in there, pay attention to it, okay? But it's not that common, all right? Okay, let's go back to our LearnZillion slides. All right, that's covering the materials you don't have as a handout, but you'll need. Anything you need will be on the slide below. We are not using the conversation stems. We don't need them. Complete the column for your assigned character independently. We did this last week on Friday, okay? We did it or you did it independently. Share information about your character with your partner. You don't have a partner, sadly. I'm going to be your partner when I comment back, okay? Take notes on your handout for the most important information. Did we do that last week? Yes, we did on Friday. Work with your partner to find similarities between the two. So when it says partner, we're not at the point where you can be with a partner yet. Could we get there eventually? Yeah, definitely. Are we there yet? No. So those are also examples of things in the slideshow that just don't work, right? You're not going to do that at home. Anytime I want you to do it, or I've had you do it in the past, we've done a Flipgrid for it. And if I see that you're technologically advanced like you guys have been showing me you are, then we might consider doing some of those during our real class to meet up with you guys, but we'll have to work on the timing. All right, compare and contrast the lives of Ben and the girl. Then it gives you some guiding questions. You are in trouble. Your tutor left the book for you to practice. What does this note tell us about the girl's relationship to her father? I want you to answer it, okay? Now, is there a spot to answer it? No. If I need you to have it answered on something, meaning on a slide, I'll include it below like I just showed you. But I want you to really think about it. If you need to, this is going to be a lot about what you need to do. If you need to write something down to remember it, guess what? I do. I had to write this down. I have to write so many things down to remember them, and I know about me, and I know that works for me. If that's what you need to do, write it on a sheet of paper, write it on a dry erase board, write it on an index card, write your answer anywhere you need to if you need to write it. If you need to say it out loud, go for it. If you need to tell your parents about it, go for it. Whatever works for you, I want you to do. If you feel like you want to tell me in the comments or in the private messaging on your Google Classroom, that's an awesome idea. It sends notifications to my phone immediately. So even if I can't immediately email you back, I get it on my phone or my watch during class, and I'll remember, hey, next time I have a break, I actually need to go message the student back. Do whatever you need to answer it. But if I need you to, or if I need to require you to answer it for a grade, I'll put it on your slideshow. All right, how does this note help us learn something new about communication with characters? This is supposed to be for class. We've already done this. What happened to Ben when he tried to call Danny? read the information, answer it however you need to. Same goes for this slide. Add these events to your understanding theme handout. Ben's phone call to Danny, Aunt Jenny's note to Ben. This is where we're going to press escape. That's how you get out of the full screen slideshow. And we're going to go to our slides, okay? Now, it told us to add these events to our understanding theme handout. Look right here. Understanding theme handout. This is what that is. Always look at the title whenever it's discussing what you need to add. Are those events added right here? No. Oh, so look at this. I've got what it's talking about. Ben's phone call to Danny and Aunt Jenny's note to Ben in the hospital. It has them both right here. Now you're going to fill in your information on these slides under the categories of the challenge, how does the character respond, what point does the author try to make, and what lessons do we learn in the text. If I don't have anything in this column, it's because it's unnecessary, okay? So that's what it's talking to. Anytime it has this information, understanding theme handout, and I actually want you to do it, it will be on the slideshow underneath the lesson, okay? All right, let's express our understanding. What lesson is the author trying to teach us about communication? Answer it how you need to. And then in the very last slide, it always tells us what we did on the previous slide, meaning it just summarizes what we did. In this lesson, you learned that Ben and the girl's story have many similarities, and the author uses their challenges with communication to develop the theme. You also practice comparing and contrasting characters in literary text. It just reviews what you just did, okay? That is how you go through your slideshow. If I don't have a video like I do today explaining the information, you go through it as is. Don't panic or freak out if you say, oh no, I don't have some of the material it told me that I needed right here. Everything I actually want you to do will be in the slideshow underneath what you just went through on your Learn Zillion lesson that day, okay? Good luck with it. That's how I'm going to format it for the rest of the week, and we'll see how it works with us, okay? Have a great Monday, and I will see you whenever I see you. Bye.